Hi everybody, and welcome to Traveling with Russell, and welcome to a new video, and welcome to Sheremetyevo Airport here in the International Departures Lounge. I thought I'd do an interesting review for you. It's one of the lounges, it's right behind me. We're gonna go check it out together. The airport actually has two lounges. This is the second of two. The other lounge is called Shigal Lounge. It's actually closer to the entrance after you go through passport control, and the Malevich Lounge is all the way at the back of the international departures. Now they always tell you it's by a certain gate, and I'd have to say it's by gate 144, and wherever all these folks are going to. Of course, if you're going to be coming to the airport and then coming to the departures lounge, probably the most important thing is to know what gate your flight is leaving from, and then know the distance from the lounge back to the gate to be able to catch your flight. So the video I'm going to be making is actually me going to the lounge and experiencing the lounge and letting you know how good it is, possibly how bad it is. I think there's not too many bad things about airport lounges. I guess we're going to see. If you're curious why I'm here at the airport making this video, I'm actually flying somewhere internationally right after this video is finished, so that'll all be revealed in a future video. So I hope you enjoy this lounge tour. Where the lounge actually is located at the end of the terminal, it actually takes up this entire upstairs level, and you can actually walk the entire circle of this upstairs area, and it feels like it doesn't end because there's just endless chairs and endless glass windows looking out over the tarmac. Now I'm fairly sure that the only terminal here is Terminal C, which I think also is the international departures. So this lounge that I'm using is actually a paid lounge. So I basically bought the ticket and then I'm using it as an extra to my flight. And this lounge actually also shares the facilities with quite a few different airlines. There's a TV here that sort of keeps scrolling about all the different airlines that can use this. I would imagine there's a partner program or an alliance. And to get up there, either the escalators or there's a lift. And where you live in the world, do you call it a lift or an elevator? One of my main recommendations if you do come to one of the lounges is double check your flight departure time. Now, although you might have known it for weeks or months ahead of time, it's always good to know it. And actually on this board, it even tells you how many minutes walk it is from where we're standing to the actual gate. Now, I don't think anything is any more than 4 or 5 minutes. But definitely a good tip to know what time you have to leave from the lounge to get down to your plane. I really hope this video does the lounge justice about how big it is and how spacious it is. There's a lot of seats now. This is literally the main lobby or entrance, and you check in here, you present your boarding card or whatever card you might have from a different partner program, and then you can just literally walk on in. So I actually was here for about 20 minutes before I came to make the video, so I've already checked in. I let the ladies know I was going to walk out and walk back in again. So I thought I'd now give you a bit of a 360-degree review of this lounge because it's very big. And I think depending on what time your flight departure is, it might be more full or empty. Now I'm actually flying out at 9:30 in the evening, and because of the long days we have now in summer here in Russia, we can see the air runway and the tarmac nice and clearly. So that I can give you the full experience, I just thought I'd point out a few things as I see them. There is actually a place here where you can put your bags and jackets, and there's lockers here. I don't think too many people use these anymore. Most people take their bag to their seat with them, but it's definitely an option. I know for myself, I've got my bag by my chair and it's completely fine there. And what I might do is just walk around this buffet area and show you what the food and drink offerings are. There is actually a couple of coffee machines in English and Russian, which is nice. Hot water for tea. There is plenty of choices. Interestingly, they've got the placards for all of the food in Russian and English. I think, of course, most things we can figure out what they are, but if you're not sure, there's definitely that option. You can get bottled water. Now, these are the big bottles, so they're not a bottle that you take to the airplane with you, very typically. And then if you want soft drinks, they've got all of the Pepsi branded products, Frustal and Eves, which is now the rebranded Pepsi items. Perfectly normal and all the same as they used to be. There's also some very Russian juice here, kompot, which is essentially a fruit juice. There are some nice desserts. Now, the reason I'm going to say things are nice is I've tried some things already. So there is lots of different little snacks. It's really more like a buffet when you come in. So it's a matter of what you fancy or what you don't fancy. Of course, in Russia we love our cheese and hams and salamis, and there's more than enough available. And then come around to the salads, all the classic Russian salads, I would say. And again, on the top here, they've got all of the little cards. The lighting's not helping too much, but they're in 2 languages. So if you're really confused with what you want, perhaps it tastes better in English than it does in Russian. I will have to eat some more food. I've actually already eaten before I started the video, because we had a bit of a long journey to get to the airport. So there is some different soups, and I'm pretty sure these would all be a rotating menu, so depending on what day of the week that you come. And lots of nice things. Of course, it's all help yourself. Pretty self-explanatory. Now, I actually had the noodles, which is this one right here. Actually, they've changed it to rice now.
Oh, sir, can I help you?
No worries, thank you. I think it really depends on what time of day that you come. Now, we were here a little bit earlier. They've actually changed the soups as well. There's now a mushroom and chicken soup. And this one was actually a cauliflower soup, which was really amazing and very delicious. And this was the gentleman that recommended it to me. So if you see him when you're coming through, say hello. They do also offer some alcoholic beverages as part of the lounge. And there's quite a few different wines that you can choose from here. So there's some red wines on this side. And these kind folks are having a look at the different white wines. So there's a pretty interesting chiller here too. So the bottles sit in this little mini fridge and chill the wines. How nice is that? These really nice ladies right here were super helpful. They explained a few of the different wines, and most of them are all local Russian wines, which is really nice to have a drink before your flight. I think as I'm walking around, you'll probably notice that there's a curve in the floor, and of course this is a big 360-degree walk around. If you want to know your flight, there's plenty of the boards. Now, my main secret of coming here is get yourself a table close to the food, because if you find this comfy chair on the other side of the lounge, you've got a bit of a journey to get back each time. So maybe sit down, have something to eat, and then find a comfy chair afterwards. And I think the further that you go away from the food, it gets much quieter. These nice big sofas, and then there's just lots of different seating options. Of course, people can work on their computers. This is interesting. There's actually charging cables here. Now, I'm pretty sure most people will fly with all of their cables and sockets. But if you really forgot, there's the option there to charge your phone or device. You don't see them too often anymore. Now a lot of places have those pay-as-you-go charging blocks. So we can pretty much see just the downstairs part of the airport off in the distance. Very big digital screen here. Now imagine if it's very busy, they have extra buffets set up. That would be very much depending on the time of day, I think, and then how many flight departures there are. Lots of quiet places to relax. I say there's places that are nice and quiet, and here I am walking around making a video. I think everybody's okay with it as I wander from place to place and have a look at the little bits that I haven't discovered myself already. I think by a long way, this is one of the main draw cards to this lounge, is this big, expansive glass panels that they've got. And you can see almost the whole airport. Maybe one of your planes is down there, maybe it's not. But it's a pretty cool view. And you can actually see out even off to the suburbs off in the distance. And have a look down there. Air Serbia. One other really nice thing is there's these drink stations set up where you can actually help yourself to more wine and water. They've even got some snacks here as well. So you can get a little bowl and get some what I would call beer snacks. Maybe they're wine snacks at the same time. So if you remember where I started the video from downstairs, you can actually see now that long walkway which would lead ultimately back to the passport control if you were getting off a plane, or the departures gates, all the way as long as you can walk. Now, I'm always curious when they've got like stand 144. I'm almost certain they don't have 144 gates. I think they always like to put a number in front of it to make it feel like the airport is a little bit bigger. They've actually got a arcade as well. There's a couple of kids in there. And there's actually another bar over here. So you can actually get yourself an alcoholic beverage. Now I'm fairly sure some of these are included and some aren't. I think the beer is included. And if you want spirits, there's a menu and a pay option. It's pretty hard to not want to stare out the window and have a look at all the planes coming and going. And then again, there's more seating. The further away you get from the food, definitely the quieter it is. And here you can really see all of the planes that are perhaps not departing today. They're probably the most famous of all, Aeroflot, down there by a long way, perhaps the most known airline or most famous Russian airline. And just look how big the airfield is from this window. Nice thing is, if you are a smoker, they've actually got lounges that are cordoned off or glassed off, so you can actually sit in there and smoke. And of course, lots of people aren't smokers, and I'm sure here in Russia lots of people do. So it's nice that you don't have to go to another part of the airport or leave the lounge if you want to smoke. So if you are a follower of my channel, you know that I do a lot of my content in Moscow, and I'm here at the airport. And depending on when you're watching this, you may know where I've already been and come back. But maybe if you haven't or you don't, put it in the comments. Where do you think I'm flying to tonight? There is also a separate kids area as well, and some crash mats and a little mini slide. I think just enough to keep the kids occupied for a little while. I've only seen literally 3 of them in here today, so I guess depending on the time of day when you fly as well, it might be more full or empty with kids in this little play area. I do have a question for everybody. When you come to the airport, of course you already know where you're going to, but do you stare at the screens and have a look at all the other destinations and wonder, did I make the right choice of where I want to go? Or do I want to go somewhere different next time? I think that's always tough. This is a nice quiet spot here as well. All of these sunbeds, as I'd like to call them. And again, these windows just fill out this whole lounge. And it's just an absolute great spot that they've chosen to have it at the end of the airport. And you can see all the flights coming and going. Actually, you can see the runway just off in the distance. Depending on how you sit, you should definitely be able to see them. And they've got these nooks as you walk around as well. So if you want to set up your computer, and the nice thing as well, they've got the plug sockets there, and then there's also USB. So if you didn't bring a brick, you can easily plug in your cable and it will be working no problems at all. Normally when I do a review of like a supermarket or shopping center, it's much easier to just walk around and realize where you've been and where you've missed. When you come to this lounge, because it's circular, it's a little bit messing with your mind, because you just keep walking and walking and it really doesn't end, because eventually you'll come back to the start again. Now I see a very interesting traveler here. I wonder if she can give us a little bit of a review of the lounge so far. I think a lot of you know who are subscribers to the channel, my wife Zhenya, and she's not often on videos, and she always promises me when we go on holiday she'll be in every video, so I finally caught her here in the act and she's actually relaxing. Now, what's your favorite thing so far of the lounge?
I would like this view, and still food is nice. Hot tea.
Hot tea, and I think also one of the soups, right?
Yeah, this which soup? Cauliflower soup puree is very nice.
Thank you, Zhenya, for your review.
Okay, bye.
And I'm going to keep on walking around just briefly. I feel like I've seen everything, but then I feel like there's a little bit that I haven't seen. I should have put a little mark on the floor so I know where I've done my 360-degree walk around. There is also televisions as well. So if you want to watch some TV, I'm not too sure what you'd want to watch at the airport. For me, this is the best live television. Planes taking off and landing. I think that's really the most interesting part. Another Aeroflot plane down there. The Aeroflot planes are everywhere in this airport. So there's so many spots to sit. You don't have to crowd together. You can spread out as much as you like. I think I've come across another tea and coffee station. Is this one different to the other couple that I've shown? There is quite a few of them as you walk around. Actually, interestingly, this one has cereal here and milk. So maybe your body clock is a little bit messed up. You can actually sit and have breakfast at 9 o'clock in the evening. So I really hope you're enjoying this video and this tour of the Malevich Lounge. Someone needs to let me know in the comments who Malevich is. I'm sure he's a famous writer or architect or poet, and I'm completely not sure who he is, and I feel bad not knowing some of the famous Russian heroes. So maybe let me know in the comments if it's somebody that you know. There is also some private rooms or offices here. I think maybe you can arrange those from the front counter, and then you can come and have a even quieter experience. I think really walking around, there's more than enough spots where it's not loud, that you can just relax and enjoy the view and get some work done or whatever you need to do. Of course, I'm not going to do a bathroom review for you, but I have used them and I'll let you know they are absolutely spotless, immaculate. Now, depending on if you're using just the general part of the airport or not, normally in Russia they're pretty good, but here in the lounge, absolutely spotless. You could probably have your lunch or dinner in there, as our famous Australian expression goes. Okay, so this is not part of the experience of the lounge, but check this out. One of the other travelers here has got a ride-on bike. How cool is this? I'm not going to go very fast, but all right. Whoa. Okay, I've got to lean. Ah. How cool is this? It's like, how fun is that? That's amazing. Now I'm not going to do a full review of the food because there's quite a lot of choices. Now I literally just have the soup here, and I've actually had this one already. There was the cauliflower soup earlier, but now I've got like a lentil and vegetable soup. And this is also very nice. The thing with the lounges in Russia, the food is more homely. I think it's more cooked by your grandmother or mother kind of feeling to it. Of course, there's the very traditional buffet items, but I think if I came here in winter, having a soup late in the evening before the flight would be the way to go. At least I could eat more and more. The lighting's not the best here where I am, but then I got a fruit bowl. I did actually have the Asian noodles earlier. They were really nice. And they had some fish cakes as well, which were more like fish fingers. I'm yet to experience good fish cakes in Russia. But they were very nice though. Pineapple in Russia? Doesn't sound correct, does it? But the thing here in Russia, you can get almost any fruit year round, even kiwi. I love kiwi. I just don't like peeling them and slicing them. I have them here at the lounge. Such a bonus. As I make my way now to my gate, I've come downstairs, back with all the common people. And actually, it's very rare that I get a chance to go to one of the lounges. And it was a bit of a treat to come and do this tonight. Now, if you're curious about the price, I'm going to put a link to the website that you can book this. You can actually book it online before you come to the airport. And it's 3,500 rubles per person. Now, fairly sure you can be here essentially as long as your flight from the check-in to departure. I don't think there's usually a time limit. Maybe if there's a long layover it might be a thing, but I think they're very, very nice with all of that. So there will be a link in the description to the Sheremetyevo Airport lounge experience. So there is 2 lounges, and then there is also a VIP experience which includes check-in as well. Now then I'm going to have to wait for another plane, another flight to do that. I mean, let me say, I guess the most important question and answer is it worth it? Now, I'd say if you get here early enough and you can get checked in and through passport control and security and get a good couple of hours here, I think it's more than worth it. Of course, if you drink beer or wine, you can get a good few plates of food. You definitely get your money's worth. I think just for the fact it's nice and quiet and peaceful and not crowded like we can see now. All of the gates. Just trying to remember where the gate that I'm going to. My wife has walked ahead of me now, so I know we're still early. So yeah, for me, I think it was more than worth the experience. I think it really depends on how long you've got at the airport, if you're either departing from here or connecting through here. Of course, if you've got some of the partner airline memberships, of course that's something that a lot of people do have and use. And I think, the size of the lounge is very big. If I compare it to the lounge in Vnukovo Airport, I think the experience here is much nicer. As I try to make my way through the crowds now to get down to the gate where I need to go to. So I was just stopped by a channel subscriber. So thank you so much for stopping me and saying hello. Now again, if you want to post a comment, let me know what you think. Maybe you've been to a lounge experience before. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. That will be super nice. I'll make sure to read all the comments. If you made it to the end of the video, you're now part of the Malevich Lounge crew. Let me know in the comments if you got to the end of the video and you're part of the Malevich Lounge crew. I'll be curious how many comments I get mentioning that. If you want to join me on Telegram, there's a link coming up right now. You can join me on Telegram. And if you want to watch another video, click this link. You can see another video you've not seen on the channel before. Thanks everybody. Off on another adventure. Bye.